The Wolves Are Back, a story written by Jean Craighead George. Love this story. I know I've read it to you before. Mr. Cook has read it on family reading night as well, but it really works in well with our science unit. So this is a story about the wolves and Yellowstone Park. Okay, Yellowstone Park is in Wyoming. The wolf pup picked up his ears, pattered out of the den, and followed his father down the slope. They jogged through the lush grasses on the bank of the Lamar River in Yellowstone National Park. There they came upon the carcass of an elk their pack had felled. The wolves are back. So here's a picture. The pack had hunted down that elk, killed it so that their family, their wolf family, could eat it. Here they are eating the elk. See the big rack? It was a really big one. A pup watched his father eat. Then he too tore off a bite. Two ravens stuffed themselves. A golden eagle carried off food for her eaglets. A grizzly bear sat nearby, waiting for the wolves to leave so she could eat in peace. Three magpies, those are little birds over here, three magpies snatched quick bites. Mice chewed on the calcium-filled antlers. Wow, mice eat the antlers, did not know that. Two beetles, sexton beetles, buried a piece of meat to eat later. The valley was sharing food again. The wolves are back. So you could see some of many, many animals that are benefiting from the wolf taking the elk down. Where had they been, the wolves? Where had they been? They were shot, every one of them. Many, many years ago, the directors of the national parks decided that only gentle animals should grace the beautiful wilderness. Rangers, hunters, and ranchers were told to shoot every wolf they saw, and they did. By 1926, there were no more wolves in the lower 48. That means in the United States, not including Alaska or Hawaii. But there are absolutely no wolves left in 1926. No voices howled. The thrilling chorus of the wilderness was silenced, and the wolves were gone. So, what impact does that have if the wolves are gone? The deer, the elk, and the antelope, the gentle animals, they looked beautiful in photographs. They wandered in tranquil herds. Peace reigned in the American wilderness. The wolves were gone. Almost seems like a good thing, right? Nobody's killing those peaceful animals. Time passed. Visitors, uh, visitors to wild America yearned, to hear wolves. When they learned that no wolf had ever attacked a person in North America, they urged that the wolves be returned to their home. So, 1995, 10 adult wolves were brought down from Canada and set free in Yellowstone National Park. They dug dens and bore puppies. First, there were 3 packs. Then there were 5. In 6 years, 21 packs. They howled, they sang to each other. Hikers stopped and marveled at the sound. The wolves were back. The pup who had followed his father to eat a herd, the pup who had followed his father to eat heard a Vesper Sparrow, here we go, Vesper Sparrow, sing. The songster had not been in Lamar Valley for almost a century. The vast elk herds had eaten the grasses that the little bird needed for food and nesting material. When the wolves returned, they frightened away the elk up into the mountains. So the grass grew tall. So since the grass grew tall, the sparrows came and raised their babies and sang. The wolves were back. So the wolves coming back helped the sparrows and the grasses. This wolf pup heard a flycatcher call. The Lamar Valley had not heard this flycatcher while the bisons were there. Bison break and trample the young trees to keep back the forest so that there will be grass. Now the wolves hunted the bison and drove them back from the river. Without the bison, the aspens grew. The aspen is this kind of tree here, these whitish kind of trees. Without the bison, the aspens grew. And with the trees around, there were limbs for the little flycatchers to perch on. So now they came back and they sang They sat there and sang. The wolves were back. When the grass and the aspen were deep along the riverheads, erosion had stopped. The willows grew. Beavers arrived and felled the willows, ate the bark, and made the dams with logs. The dams formed ponds. Now that we have ponds, water birds, fish, and frogs flocked to the ponds. Dragonflies zoomed ahead, all because of the wolves. The pup peered ahead. In front of him sat one of the very few coyotes that the wolves had not killed when they first arrived in the valley. After the wolves thinned out the coyotes, the number of ground squirrels that the coyotes fed on increased. Lots more squirrels. Ground squirrels were the badgers' main food. Badgers moved back into the valley, now rich with ground squirrels, and the badgers ate well and dug tunnels for homes. The wolves were back. The grizzly bear shared the wolf kills and had 2 and even 3 big, fat, healthy cubs. The wolf pup with his father ate until his stomach was round and then followed his father back to the den. They walked through the garden of wildflowers. The wolves had scared off the mountain sheep that chewed the flowers to the ground, up to the rocky cliffs. What all this different impact with just one animal being brought back. Flowers filled the valley. Bees and butterflies that fed on the flowers returned. Warblers, birds, sang. I'm sorry, warblers are different birds. These are hummingbirds. Hummingbirds brightened the valley. Like pieces in a kaleidoscope, the broken parts of the wilderness were tumbling into place. The wolves were back. The pup grew up. He was taught to hunt by his father and mother. He helped take care of litter puppies. Then he left home. The young male went south where he met a mate from Yellowstone Delta Pack. They trotted side by side into the Teton wilderness and dug a den along the Snake River. They scared the elk away. They scattered the bison. They frightened the sheep up into the cliffs. The grasses grew tall. The riverbanks stopped eroding. Willow and aspen trees flourished. Beavers built ponds. Birds sang. Flowers bloomed. The wilderness is in balance again. And that's what we want, balance, right? The wolves are back. So I thought that story fitted nicely with our science unit, how interconnected everything was. The wolves are back.